Welcome to this video series on the rapid prototyping process in human-centered design. This is a video on how to build prototypes. At the end of this video, you will be able to list the 3 critical dimensions of an innovative product or service and recall the overall process steps of the prototyping process. The 3 dimensions. In the previous video, we learned that prototypes help you understand how users would interact with your product. There are 3 critical dimensions that determine the success of a product. Building prototypes that test these 3 dimensions of your idea will help you get a complete picture of your users' preferences. What are the 3 dimensions? Desirability, also called the human aspect. Do people want to use your product? What customer need are you satisfying through your idea? Is it easy to use your service? Next, viability. This refers to the business aspect of your idea. Does your business model make economic sense? Will people be willing to pay money for your idea? If yes, how much? Finally, feasibility. Is it technically feasible to manufacture your product or offer your service? Will you be able to recreate your idea so that thousands of people can benefit from it? These are tough questions to answer without interacting with your target audience. The most effective prototypes are those that elicit opinions from your users along these 3 dimensions. Keep this in mind when building your prototypes. Tips. It is often challenging to account for all 3 dimensions in a single prototype. It's recommended that you build different prototypes that test different aspects of your product. For instance, you may build a prototype that tests the human desirability of your idea and another one to determine the business viability of it. Do not get too attached to your idea. It's hard to let go of an idea that you and your team have invested a lot of time into. But very, very rarely is your first idea the best one. The sooner you can get honest feedback from users about what works and what doesn't about your idea, the sooner you can change it and reach an even better idea that really works for your users and meets their needs. Overview of the prototyping process. Step 1. The prototyping process begins with identifying the key aspects of your business idea that you want to test with your users. Remember the 3 dimensions that would need to be tested. Your idea will have lots of testable components, so you need to be clear about what you want to learn with each prototype. For example, if we are creating anti-theft wallet, we might assume that users will keep the wallet in their pants pocket. But what if that's not true? That is an assumption we need to test. So, we might create one prototype of the physical wallet to give it to the users to see where they store the wallet. However, we might also want to know whether users would be more likely to buy the wallet from online versus in a physical store. The prototype we would create to test might look like a Facebook ad for the wallet and see how many people click on it. Next, gather the materials that you need to build your prototypes. Use materials that are easily available and affordable. For instance, a pair of scissors, tape, markers, and colored paper would suffice to build a simple physical prototype. Step 3, build your prototypes. Remember, it's okay for a prototype to be scrappy and not polished. It is also okay to not spend a lot of time and resources on building your prototype. All that matters is that it conveys a working form of your proposed idea. Step 4, prepare a list of questions to ask your users while they interact with your prototype. Remember that each prototype should be built to answer a specific question or test a specific assumption. For one prototype, you might only ask questions about its visual appeal. For another, you might only ask questions about how users would discover your product for the first time. Again, think along the 3 dimensions we discussed earlier. Step 5, identify groups of people who would likely use your product or service. Test your prototype with these groups, ask them your questions, and record feedback received from them. Step 6, identify patterns of recurring feedback and improve your prototype accordingly. Repeat this process till your prototype appears to closely match your users' needs and expectations. Remember that during this process, you will probably need to build a completely new prototype from scratch. And that's okay, because this is helping you build a better user-oriented product. During prototyping, a human-centered innovator goes for quantity, not quality. You go into the field with not just one prototype, but many. We will learn more about the rapid prototyping process in the next video. To review, you learned about the 3 critical dimensions that make up an innovative product and became familiar with the overall process of rapid prototyping. Thank you for watching.